DawnDares2Dream, I like to inspire and motivate adults to dream again. Because as we go through life and take on our different roles and responsibilities, we tend to put our dreams on the back burner. And my goal here at DawnDares2Dream is to help you pick those dreams back up and to pursue them again. Now, I want you to understand, I started DawnDares2Dream because I wanted to relay my message and my heart and my feelings across to whomever would listen. It can be difficult getting your closest family and friends to understand the way that you believe and when you try to express it and share it. So this was like my backdoor way into letting everybody know. Now, I may have lost some viewers as a result of that because they don't agree, and that's fine. I am definitely a proponent of everyone having their own thoughts, their own process, their own mindset that works for them. Your religion works for you, you keep that. No one's telling you to get rid of that. Whatever it is that works for you, continue to use it. I'm just saying that sprinkle some of this other information on it, this personal development information that I'm providing you, and see where your life takes you and how you take off personally. Always remember, we are in control of how we see our environment. I don't care what everyone says it looks like or everyone says it is. We are in control of how we choose to perceive the environment. Hey dreamers, welcome back. And thank you to all the new dreamers who stopped by DawnDares2Dream today to see what we're all about. Well, we are on a very, very special topic that's near and dear to my heart. We are reviewing the universal laws, because my goal is to help my dreamers understand that there is more than one universal law. You know, the one law we all know about, the law of attraction. We love that law because it's a nice and sexy law. It talks about us creating our future and having our dreams and desires manifest. So we love that law. But the goal with this particular series is to help you understand how the other laws interconnect and work with the law of attraction, because all the laws work together. So I know there are a lot of us out here that may be having some issues manifesting our best lives. So I wanted to take the time to break down the other laws so that you can understand how they connect with the law of attraction. Now, before we move any further, I do want to remind you that I do have my newsletter. And if you want to subscribe to the newsletter, you have to email me your first name and your email address at DawnDares2Dream@gmail.com, and I will send out the welcome newsletter right out to you, and then I will send out every weekly newsletter thereafter. They are usually released on Thursday afternoons. So that's when you can look forward to receiving your newsletter. Now, the newsletter is important because I am speaking to you in a more candid way, in a written format only, about things that are on my mind, topics that I think I should discuss, things that I get inspired by throughout the week. I bring those to you in a newsletter format, and I talk about it and I explain it, and I do give you an activity for you to follow so that if you want to brush up on the skill or technique that I'm discussing that particular week, you have some activities listed down there for you to follow. Now, I'm so excited about today's topic, but before I move on to that, I do want to let you know that if you are new to my channel or you have not subscribed, there's a subscribe button, that red rectangular button right down there. Click on that button so that way you'll be subscribed to my channel. I could use the support. Now, let's get back to the topic. Okay, so we're doing the 12 laws of the universe, understanding what those laws are, kind of breaking them down in their most simplest terms so that you can just grab a hold of the information and run with it, right? And apply it along with the law of attraction. Now, today is the law of correspondence, and I love this law because I say this all the time, that our environment is a reflection of ourselves. Everything is all about what we perceive, because what we're perceiving is our perception that we have projected out here in this world. So everyone's perception of things can be different. That's why people see the world in a different manner. But before we move along any further, I want to read a definition that I looked up on the internet that explains the law of correspondence. Okay, so let's read the law of correspondence right here on my phone. This law states that patterns repeat throughout the universe. And on a personal level, our reality is a mirror of what's happening inside of us at that moment. At that moment. Remember, your reality can change. It doesn't have to stay stagnant. You know how we learn new things and we grow, and then our perception of things, or how we have defined the world around us or the people around us, the box that we have put them in. Sometimes people pop out that box and they're different than they were when you put them in that box. You know what I'm saying? That's because we have grown and our reality has changed in that moment. Our perception has changed in that moment. And so we move forward from moment to moment, and that is how we live our lives. The one thing that I truly love about the law of correspondence, and I want all of us to take hold onto and understand and ponder on it, meditate on it, pray on it, think about it, is the concept that what we are thinking and what we are feeling is what we're projecting. Okay? It's exactly what we're projecting. So think about it. Our friends that are closest to us, they are in some form or fashion a mirror image of us. So think about what you have in common with the people around you. Think about even at your job, maybe the department that you work in, the commonalities that exist there that you necessarily didn't expect to. Think about how sometimes they'll hire a new person on, and for whatever reason, y'all just really click, or you don't. Because again, it's our perception. So if you really click, it's because you see all of these wonderful attributes about them that you see in yourself. And when you don't click, what you're seeing is all the attributes that you don't like about yourself in them. It's just flipped. You get it? So our reaction in this world and how we move about in this world, it's really just a reflection of what's going on inside of us. And that is why the law of attraction talks about changing your mind, focusing on what you want, and going after that, and not focusing on what you don't want. Because with the law of correspondence in play, if you are focusing on the things that you don't want, that's the reality that you're going to see, because that's going to be your perception. Because on your mind constantly is everything that you don't want. So you're married, right? And when you first met your spouse, for whatever reason, you just fell head over heels in love with them. Everything about them was perfect. The youthfulness, everything. You were like, yes, this is the one. I am marrying him. I am marrying her. We are going to do this. Yes, we're going to live happily ever after. But then think about it. People tell you all these stories about how people fall in and out of love throughout their marriages. People will tell you marriage is hard, and people will tell you that you have to work really hard to stay married. You have to work hard to stay together. You have two different personalities coming together, living in the same space with different thoughts, raised differently. That's difficult. So you hear this, and you know you do. All you people, when you first got married, most people tell you a lot of the negative things about marriage and what that's going to look like down the road. And they're like, good luck, they're laughing and they're giggling, and they're granted. They're married and they're in their marriages and they're miserable. So they are projecting their miserableness onto you. So what has happened is that has been in your mind, pondering down the road. You've been thinking about it, not consciously, but you just kind of been thinking about it, mulling it over back in there. Back in there, in that noggin, you're just thinking about it. So as time has progressed in your marriage, all of a sudden you're having these issues. All of a sudden you feel like you aren't in love with your spouse. All of a sudden marriage is such hard work, when before it was easy. You were just doing it and you were going along easy, smooth sailing. Everything just seemed to work together and work out. And now you're like, oh, what is going on? He doesn't understand me. She doesn't understand me. Why do we have all these issues and problems? Why can't I just do what I want? Why is everything a question? Why doesn't he listen? Why doesn't she listen? She asks too many questions. Why does he answer my questions? Do you understand? So you've gotten into this cycle of this big ball of negativity. The only way to get out of that negativity is to begin to project positive feelings about your mate onto them. And that way you'll begin to see positive things from them. I'm not saying behavior is going to change overnight, but what I am saying is it's about our perception in that moment. So every moment that you can, when your mate does something that you like, hone in on that, in that moment. Appreciate that moment. Love on him or her in that moment, and shower them with your appreciation for whatever it is that they're doing that you just love in that moment. Because what will happen is, as you continue to do this and capture those wonderful moments, you'll begin to just think about those wonderful moments. Even in the bad moments, you're going to go, you know what, but yesterday he said so-and-so, so-and-so, he brought me that dinner home. That was so sweet. He never brings me flowers, but he brought me one single rose. I was just like, oh, baby. You understand? Think about those things. Because the more you think about the positive, the more the positive is going to occur. Because remember, the law of correspondence states that we are just reflecting what's going on inside of us. So if you're having issues with your mate and how they're treating you in the relationship, you're probably having issues with yourself and not treating them properly because you don't feel that you should, because you don't feel that you're being treated properly. So it's just a cycle that you're in. And if you want to flip that cycle, change the cycle, stop that cycle, then you have to change your thoughts. Everything, if you notice about each law that we've talked about, the law of oneness, the law of action, the law of energy and vibration, all of these laws have basically, you come home to the thought of mindset and what we're thinking and what we're believing. So the law of correspondence isn't anything different. It's just saying, beware of what you are thinking and feeling and believing, because that is what you're projecting out into the world. So when you project that out into the world, you get that back. So for example, in college, I had an English teacher who everybody said this woman was difficult, and everybody said it was very difficult to pass her. And she was the only professor that fit my schedule. So I chose to believe that I could pass this woman's class. I chose to believe that I could please this teacher. Now, she was very meticulous. You had to do your work on a certain type of paper. Had to be, college rule, I think. Had to be 8.5 by 11. She would literally have a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. And if your paper was 8.5 by 11, she didn't take your assignment. So if you were doing some kind of test and it was like a writing assignment in the classroom and you didn't have 8.5 by 11, you better pray to God one of your classmates would give you some, because she was adamant about these little, particular things. And she graded harshly. But guess what? I passed that lady's class, and I passed it on the first try. And I passed it because I believed in my heart of hearts, since she's the only teacher, the only professor that I can take right now, I'm going to get a passing grade. I am not repeating English. It was like English 2. I don't remember what we really called it back then, but it was like English 2. So English 1 was fine. I did that great. Woo! And then when it came to English 2, she was the only one to fit. I didn't want to take her, but I changed my mindset about it and my perception. Everyone else's perception was, oh, we're probably going to fail. My perception was, I am going to pass. Now, I might pass by the skin of my teeth, but I tell you, I'm going to pass, because I'm going to follow her instructions, do what she says to a T. When I don't, remember what I did wrong and correct it so that I can improve later. And that's how I went in. That was my motto in that class. Listen, write down, pay attention, and do exactly what she says. No more, no less, exactly what she says. But because that was my perception, I passed that class. So it's really about what you think and what you feel. That's how the world around you is going to respond. So I need you to hold on to that concept. I know it's kind of an odd concept to think about if you haven't really looked at your own life that way and haven't sat back and compared the different relationships that you have with people and maybe why you have them. We are attracted to the people in our lives for a reason, because they remind us of ourselves. The people who we like in our lives, they remind us of all the good stuff that we like about ourselves. The people who we don't like, they remind us of the bad things. And sometimes we are people we like, but they remind us of the good and the bad. And that is what attracted us together. It's that mirror. We're putting that mirror up against ourselves and we don't even realize it. So the moral of the story is, if you have people in your life that just irritate you to the core, there's a lesson in that. You need to find out why, because whatever that is, it's living inside of you as well. So maybe it's something that you want to tweak in yourself, or you just want to start saying, I love me for all of who I am, and it doesn't matter whether someone perceives it as good or bad. I love all of me. And then maybe you'll start loving that bad characteristic in that person that's around you, especially if it's a person that you can't eliminate from your life. You might want to think about how to make that work. And the best way to make it work is not to try to fix them, but fix ourselves. Because when we work on ourselves, that's when the magic happens. Because as we work on ourselves, the people around us are impacted by the new and better us, right? they're impacted in such a positive way that they respond in a positive manner because of our change, because they like the new us. But remember, they like the new us because we like the new us. We are projecting our thoughts and our beliefs, our feelings out into the world, and we are receiving them back. This applies greatly to the law of attraction. Think about it. They say we attract who and what we are, right? Exactly. So if you're projecting negativity, that's what you're going to see, and that's what you're getting back. If you're projecting positivity, that's what you're going to see, that's what you're going to get back. And in order for the law of attraction to work, remember we talked about the law of energy or vibration, you have to have the proper energy, be on the right vibration. You got to tune that radio station, right? Tune into the thing that it is that you want and be vibrating on the same level. Now, if you are thinking of negative things all the time, how can you positively attract this desire that you have? You're not going to. You're going to keep living in the lack part of life versus the abundance part. So if you want to live abundantly, you have to have an abundant mindset. We have to do abundant activities, and we have to show gratitude and be thankful, because that brings about more positivity in our life. And then our perception of our life, what we see out here, changes. And with that change, we begin to attract those desires that we have already put out here, that we've already said that we want, that we've already been praying about, meditating on, we wrote our scripts on. Then all of a sudden, it just seems like all this wealth of goodness is coming, right? It's not just coming. It's coming because you changed your mind and you changed with the law of correspondence. You realize now, okay, what I see out here is what I'm projecting, so I have to change the projection. And the only way to change your projection is to change your mindset and change your heart and your feelings about things, and the way you believe will change, and then what you see out in the world and what you get back will become more positive. So I hope I have explained this as simple as I possibly can. I hope you have grabbed a hold of this concept of law of correspondence, because it's a powerful, very impactful law for us, not just the people around us, but for us. So hold on to these concepts. I am also writing a workbook to go along with this. I'm writing it as I go along. So right now what you can do, you can get on the waiting list by emailing me at DawnDares2Dream@gmail.com and say, I want the Universal Laws Workbook. Now, if you do it now while I am actually recording the videos, the workbook will be yours free of charge. Now, after this series is done, and it's about 12 videos, and this is video 4. So after the series is done, then I will place this publication on my website where it can be purchased. But remember, if you're a member of the newsletter club, I am 9 times out of 10 going to put a nice little juicy promo code in the newsletter for you to use to purchase later. So if you are watching this video after the series is complete, what I need you to do, go to the description of this video, go scroll down to where it says shop, click on that link, and it will take you to the website where you can download your free, not your free, but download your purchased copy of the workbook for this series. So I've had a great day talking to you. Like I told you, I love the law of correspondence, because the law of correspondence is what has changed my life. So thank you for hanging out with me today, dreamers. And remember that my face is going to be up here in a circle. So if you have not subscribed, you can click on that, and you'll be subscribed, and you will be notified to all the new content that I place up here to YouTube. And then on this side, I'm going to have this Understanding the Laws of the Universe playlist. And I'm also going to put No Ego and How to Release the Pain, Hurt, and Trauma. I believe those are the 3 playlists I'm going to add up here for you to click on and you can review. Now, if you have not watched the other 3 preceding videos, when you click on the Understanding the Law of the Universe, you can go there and you can review any of the videos that you have missed. Thanks again. Have a great day, dreamers.